Sivas'ın bir gün
One day, I received a call from an elderly gentleman in a town near Sivas. Son, he said, we've been looking for you, and now we've found you. There's an old woman here, and she must be one of yours. This woman has consigned herself to God's mercy. If you can find her relatives, tell them to come and get her. And if you can't, let us say our own prayers over her and bury her here. Okay, I said, I'll make some calls. Her name was Beatrice, and she was 70 years old. She was visiting from France. I made a few calls, and in 10 minutes I had tracked down her relatives. We all know each other because there are so few of us. I went over to the relatives' store and asked them, do you know anyone who meets this description? The middle-aged woman in the shop turned around and said, she's my mother, just like that. So I said, well, it's like this. Where is your mother? So she lives in France. She went on to tell me that her mother lived in France and that she visited Turkey 3 or 4 times a year and went straight out to her village, to the village they had left behind. As soon as I told her what had happened, she immediately set out on the road. Next day she gave me a call. She found and identified her mother. She cried. I asked her if she was going to bring back her mother's body. Dear brother, she said, that's what I'm trying to do, but there's this uncle here who keeps trying to talk me out of it. Still weeping, she handed the phone to the man. I got angry at him. Why was he making this woman cry? My son, the uncle said. I didn't say a thing. I told her, my girl, she's your mother, she belongs to you. But if you ask me, you should leave her here, to be buried here. The water has found the way to its crack, I said. And at that moment, I was undone. Undone by this old Anatolian expression, this old way of looking at things. Yes, the water had found the way to its crack. Yes, it's true that the Armenians do really have their eyes on this country, this land. Let me repeat to you what I wrote back then. It was during that period that President Demirel said, we won't give even 3 pebbles to the Armenians. So I wrote the story of this woman, and I added, yes, we Armenians have our eyes on these lands because this is where our roots are. But do not worry. We do not want to take this land. We just want to come back to this land to be buried deep inside of it. Thank you.